शुरू करें? Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to all of you in this session. Please confirm by writing in the comment box if I'm audible and visible to all of you. Good evening Sachin, good evening Shivangi, good evening Vinny. Please confirm if I'm audible and visible. If any of you face any issue in the course of this session, please write in the comment box. All right, thank you Janvi, thank you Saloni. Okay, so a very good evening to all of you. Students, in this session, we are going to actually dissect what UPSC 2025 prelims was all about, what were the learnings that you can take, and what's next, right? So this is the agenda of this session. But before I begin this session, I want you to understand that we are not going to discuss answers particularly of prelims, because that is very subjective, and let's leave it to UPSC for that. But now the time is, you have to plan for ahead what you need to do in the upcoming months, right? So shall we begin? Please type yes if you want me to begin the section. Right, okay. So before we begin, let's take a poll. How many of you have actually appeared in 2025 prelims, so that I know my audience? Tanushri, Divya, please write appeared if you appeared in this prelims 2025. Okay, Vinny, so you have not appeared. Nupur, you have appeared. Also, those of you who has not appeared, please write the target year. That is, you are targeting 2026 or 2027, so that I can understand you better. Okay, perfect. So I can see many of you have appeared in prelims, but again, many of you are targeting for 2026 as well. In offline, you are also targeting 26 or beyond? 26. Okay, you 27, right? Okay. Okay, so let's get started. But at the same time, I will try to make this session a bit interactive. So I will need your response as well, right? So let's begin the session. So first of all, I'm Shashank Gupta. I am head of Step Up Mentorship Program here at Vajiram Ravi, right? So those of you who has appeared for that, those students, I want to congratulate you. First of all, UPSC prelims is not easy. The months that go, you have to grind, right? And then you have to attempt this exam, which is again a very humongous task for many of the aspirants. And for those students who have actually appeared, I want to quote this. गिरते हैं शहसवार ही मैदान जंग में, वो तिफल क्या गिरे जो घुटनों के बल चले. So it means only the people who dares, who actually fights, can get down in the battlefield, right? Not those who have not even begun, right? So first of all, congratulations to each and every one of you who has appeared in this prelims exam. So let's first discuss, my dear students, what we can learn from this prelims examination. What are the 5 lessons that UPSC Prelims 2025 have taught us again, or we can reflect on that. So many of you know that UPSC prelims specifically is sort of unpredictable, or at the same time they tend to adapt, right? They create a lot of variations so that they can check your aptitude, whether you are able to adapt quickly or not. Why is it that? Why do you think UPSC makes this preliminary examination more or less predictable? Why is that? Any guesses? Hint is, it requires you to work on the field as well. This quality will need you will need in the field as well, right? So what is the reason for this pattern that UPSC has? Please write in the comment box, right? So many of you know this. You need to work in diverse circumstances. You have a lot of responsibilities. Yes, very nice, Maitri. So that you can actually work in unpredictable situation and tackle them. Imagine a disaster happening in your district. You cannot go by the book all the time. You have to act, and you have to actually apply your mind sometimes. And this is what they are trying to gauge in this preliminary examination. So first and foremost, they are trying to find and actually filter out the candidates who can actually apply in these situations, right? Yes, Janvi, this is again very correct, to select the best. But based on what criteria, right? The criteria of qualities of civil servants that they need. Okay? All right. So first lesson is, obviously UPSC will always try to get ahead of you, right? Many of you may have prepared many things, but they have included some statement based, 3 statement based questions this year, and which made the paper a bit lengthy as well as unpredictable of sorts. You were not equipped to solve them. Many of the people who were beginning the preparation, you can type in the comment box whether you struggled with this or not, or were you feeling comfortable in the exam hall when you actually attempted those questions. How many of you were comfortable? Pragya? What about you, Anjali? Nihal? Shivangi? Yes, Sujata? And this is again a very important lesson for you. We'll cover this as well. It was on the lengthier side, right? If you compare with the last year prelims, it was on the lengthier side. Okay. So first lesson you have to understand is, you have to keep innovating. You have to keep yourself on your toes, try new things sometimes, so that you can actually work on the unpredictability aspect of the UPSC. Okay? Second thing is irrespective of all the noise that is there, many people will say, yes, it is fairly tough side examination, this prelims. But if you know the concepts, they have actually checked your conceptual understanding of the static portion in great detail, right? Right now, you always know what is primary deficit, but they have asked you to calculate it, right? So many of you know the syllabus, but you are not very much conceptually clear. So a great lesson for you here from this prelims is, static will remain the king. It will remain the king. You have to have a very good understanding, grasp over the static part, conceptual part of the syllabus. We have seen this in economy. We have seen this in science and tech, right? History was more or less on basically easier side, if I may say. How many of you feel history was easier? I think after a long time, modern history came back stronger and it was on the easier side, right? So there will be things that you cannot predict. In previous year, last 2-3 years, there was medieval and ancient art and culture. But now they asked modern history, right? So again, things that you have to understand is, static will remain the key to crack UPSC prelims. I have talked to a lot of students after this prelims examination, and that's why I have taken this session after 7 days, right? Because I wanted your opinion. And many of the students who were very much oriented towards static, and they knew what is needed to crack this exam, that we have discussed in the earlier sessions as well, right? So they have actually flourished. They have scored 100, 110, right? I know it is a difficult paper, but at the same time, if you know your concepts, it was easy to moderate on that level, right? Now, next thing is, obviously, as I told you, it was a bit lengthy paper because of these 3 statement-based things, right? 3 statements. Now, the lesson for you is, UPSC always throws some new things in, say, 10, 12 questions. Now, prepare yourself. From the next year onwards, they will increase this number. They may increase this number. So you have to keep practicing on this aspect, right? So this is a great lesson for you. You be prepared. Okay? Then, many of the students came to me before prelims, sir, where to study current affairs from, and there are so plethora of resources. And this prelims again show this. If you are strong with static, you just need optimum and smart understanding of current affairs. So everyone knew NATO was in news. You need to understand. Yes, you have to see through what are the countries there in this organization, right? You have BRICS, you have BIMSTEC. All those questions were predictable. So optimum and smart uses of current affairs was very much needed. And lastly, my dear students, I have seen this. Many of the wonderful students who were very good actually faltered in this prelims because of CSAT. And I have been telling you this from last say 6 months, never ever neglect CSAT. And this is what has happened with many of the students, brilliant students. I know many of the students were from very good backgrounds, engineering, IITs, IIMs. Even they have faltered, right? So a big lesson for you is, specifically those who will be preparing for next year, never ever neglect CSAT. Okay? Optimum, my dear student, Maitri, is basically you need not follow every resource that is there in the market. Just follow one newspaper and follow one current affairs magazine that you refer. So if you are a Vajiram student, research is the best source, right? So you need not follow every other source that is coming in the market, because if you have strong understanding of current static syllabus, you will be easily through. Okay? Right. So these are some of the lessons. But more importantly, what's next? And this is the main agenda of this session. So people who have scored, say, somewhere more than 80. Again, these answer sheets will vary. So I'll say around 75 plus. If you are getting from average, you can start appearing for mains examination. You can start studying for mains examination. Because again, this is hardly 10 days matter now, right? In 10 days, you'll get to know what's the result. So first thing is, if you have these range of marks, 75 plus, 80 plus, you better understand what is needed for mains, right? And those of you, I want to remind you that your job is just half done. You have to complete what is requirement of the mains, right? So this is not a time to rest. You may have rested a while, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, maybe a week. But now you have to buckle up. Next 80 days will be very much crucial for you, right? We'll come to these aspects. Now, next portion will be students who are below this, right? Less than 75, say. So better you target for next year in a very consolidated way, structured way. Okay? Leave no stone unturned. You have to understand, maybe you have failed this prelims, but at the same time, you have to understand this is a stepping stone for you. Okay? So how many of you think you will learn from the mistakes that we have discussed, but also you will learn from your own mistakes and the mistakes of all the other that you see around? How many of you think you will be able to consolidate everything from this session and apply? Vandita, I don't want to go into this. Again, this is very much unpredictable thing, but I believe, based on the experience as well as interactions with the students that we have, it should be more than 80 plus, right? 80 to 85 is the range. It is on the difficult level than the previous year. So obviously, it should reduce. Also, a CSAT will be, again, a very big factor here. But you need not worry about cutoff for now. You just focus on what is needed from your end to be done in next 80 days or in next few months, right? Okay? Now let's discuss what you need to do. So it's very simple. If you are going to clear, start preparing, right? Start your mains preparation. If you are not sure, then you can still study for next 10 days. What you need to study is, you can start with ethics, right? I hope you will utilize these next 7-10 days in a way so that even if you are on border and you get the chance, you will be at least prepared with ethics. You start with ethics. Start simple. So start with your syllabus topics. So say there's a topic on emotional intelligence. You understand what is it, what are the components of emotional intelligence, what is the significance of emotional intelligence in public as well as private sector, how to inculcate emotional intelligence in children as well as civil services, and then conclusion, something like that, so that you cover your ethics portion in next 7 to 10 days. This is first part. Second part for you is actually go through your optional, right? So you take paper 1 of your optional, whatever your optional is, but at the same time, you make sure that at least one revision will be completed in next 10-15 days, right? This should be the target. So irrespective of your results, you continue with that for next 15 days. Okay? Meanwhile, you will get the results maybe around 6th, maybe around 10th. Based on recent past, they do release results in 15-20 days, right? It's not that they will be releasing in 2 months like earlier. Okay? So this is first thing that you need to understand. Ethics and paper 1. third most important thing that you have to cover in next 10 days is one assignment for you. You read any previous year essay topic, right? First try to brainstorm on it, and then do write an essay topic, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you will write good or bad. Doesn't matter. You have to first start, because this inertia of not writing is again huge thing. People who will be giving this mains for first time, it's very important for you to do actually go and write your answers, write your essays, right? So for next 10 days, you just have to do ethics, optional paper 1, and then one essay topic. That's all. Understood? Make sure you write whatever you want to write in essay. It doesn't have to be the perfect essay. It doesn't have to score 130, 140, 150 marks, right? Just make sure you start. Also, for both of these demographies, what I want you to do is do refer some topic copies. Say you download Shakti Dubey's copies from our Vajiram portal. You analyze how they are writing answers. Doesn't matter if you are 2025 student or 2026 students. This is for everyone. Always understand you have to learn from the best, right? So it's like standing on the shoulder of the giants, right? So you understand that Shakti writes answers in this way. So better understand what she has written, analyze her copies for next 10 days. I'm not saying whole day, but maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes every day. Yes, this is a very good question, and we'll come to that, right? We'll come to that, but for the timing, just be with me. Now, coming to mains 25 students who think they will be clearing this prelims. This is very important for you to understand. This is a golden chance. This is a golden chance for you. Because of CSAT, many of the mature students, if I may say, may not be able to clear. So there will be a lot of students like you, the first timers. So don't waste any time, right? Time is money right now. You make it count, because no one knows in UPSC, this is how unpredictable it is, right? So if you get a chance, make it count. This is the first thing. Second thing is, your overall focus during next 75, 80 days should be to consolidate what you already have. To consolidate what you already have. If you are part of Step Up, we provide you workbooks. If you are part of Show Shot, we provide you workbooks. But again, if you are on your own, you just consolidate your notes. Consolidate, revise, and do apply when you are writing answers. Answer writing has to begin from now. You have to begin your answer writing. Doesn't matter if you're writing 1 answer, 2 answers, 3 answers a day, right? If you need help, we have a whole team with you. But at the same time, you have to focus, because 80 days is not that much of a time that you can do a PhD in every subject. It is not possible. It is impossible. So you have to, first of all, pick and choose. You have to consolidate, and we'll again give you some directions, which subjects to focus on and everything. But understand this point. This is the time for revision. This is the time for consolidation. This is the time for application. And then this is the time for learning. So whenever you write, you learn from your mistakes. This is what is needed. Okay? I hope it is clear what we have covered, how we'll cover later. Okay? Please write in the comment box if you are with me on this. If you understand what should be your target in next 70, 80 days if you are going to write mains. Now, next big understanding that you need for mains is, GS obviously has, say, 1,000 marks. But at the same time, your optional is 500. Your essay is 150. And if we take out ethics as well, ethics 150, 250 marks basically. So you can target at least 130 marks in essay if you begin now. Ethics is also a very low-hanging fruit. So these are the 3 kingmakers, I say. Your optional, your ethics, and your essay. It can fetch you huge marks. You can even get 140, 150 in essays. Similarly, in your optional, 300 plus is achievable, right? So first thing you have to understand is these 3 subjects has to be on your tips. You give your best in next 80 days to make sure you are comfortable in these 3 things. Okay? Now, for ethics, what you have to do is you plan your next 80 days in such a way that you have at least 3 to 4 iterations of revision. You revise, you write test. You revise, you write test. And when I'm asking you to write test, 3 revisions of ethics is needed, because ethics is a sort of a subject which will not become your forte overnight, right? You write, you analyze, and then you reflect. Yes, this is something I can also include in these answers. Multidimensionality, interlinkages, that can be established, right? So these are some low-hanging fruits. So I'll say at least write 3 to 4 tests, 3 to 5 tests for ethics, so that you feel comfortable. Okay, you are with me on this? Okay, now what to do for essay? Many of you said this. So first obvious way is obviously you join a course, but that's totally up to you. That you can join after prelims as well if you are getting selected. But for the time being, first thing is you have to see toppers copies. Every day make sure for half an hour you will see toppers copies of essay, right? You understand how they are opening, giving the introduction, opening the essay, right? Essay is like a movie. Sometimes they hook you, right? If it is not interesting, people will leave in between. So similar thing is what is needed in essay. So what you need is a very catchy introduction, right? How many of you have seen Raja Moili's movies? RRR? Anyone? So the introductory scene, right? It catches you, and you cannot go out of it, right? This is the power of storytelling, and this is what you have to do in essays as well. It can be quotes, it can be anecdotes, it can be data in some situations like environment or something, but always try to have catchy introductions by storytelling, or at least using these quotes. Okay, so this is how you begin your essay. So what you have to do is you have to learn from the toppers how they are introducing their essays, 3-4 types of introduction, how they are raising some questions, right? So if I have to judge an essay, so obviously first thing is how you are introducing an essay. Then you go about actually decoding what is needed to be written in this essay, right? There are so many layers in essay. So try to raise some questions. Okay? So raising of questions, this is the brainstorming part. This is what I'm telling you to do yourself, as well as learn from toppers, right? Then comes flow, coherence, and all those things that you will actually learn as and when you go ahead. But for the time being, you start learning from toppers copies. Also, you keep an eye on validation. If you have a wonderful story related to environment, if you have good quotes, good anecdotes, good data, try to make use of that. Try to create a register or at least A4 size copy where you have some compilations, say related to education, health, women issues, patriarchy, things like that. Okay? So that when you actually write, you have a basic compilation with you. Okay? This is what you can do even now. Then, as I have given you a assignment, write your one essay before prelims result. Okay? Then when you write, you seek feedback from your mentors, your friends, whatever, right? At the same time, you reflect on your own essay. Even now you have ChatGPT with you. You ask ChatGPT, throw some questions, how else can I actually open the demand of this essay? Okay? So use this in next 10-15 days, and then obviously you can have a structured plan as well. Okay? So first thing is essay, then ethics, and then you come to optional part. Okay? In this optional, for next 80 days, I'll suggest at least write 10-12 tests. But if bare minimum, if I have to say, write at least 3 sets of paper 1 and paper 2. So at least you understand what is the requirement of the subject, how well you are scoring, and thirdly, if you are able to complete the paper or not. Right? This is going to be crucial for all of you who are going to write this for the first time. This means. So do you understand what I have conveyed till now? Please write, yes, sir, I understand. And if you have any questions, please keep asking. Vinny, do you understand? Anjali, Shrishti, Sampa? Okay, thank you. Please raise your questions as and when you get that. Now, coming to your GS part. For next 80 days, obviously you cannot do a PhD, and you ought not do a PhD. This is not an exam which checks your level at the PhD or not. Otherwise, every PhD student would be a collector. It's not. So what you have to do is, in this limited time, you have to maximize your GS score in this limited minimum time. And how to do that? obviously first thing is you have to select your subjects. As I said, ethics should be the priority because it's a very low hanging fruit. Students have scored 130s, 140s, right? It is very difficult to score 140s in GS3 specifically, going by this pattern of last 3-4 years, right? So first ethics, and then you come to your GS2 part. GS2, obviously you have your static syllabus, but also establish what is there in the current affairs. So linking of current affairs and static is important, and here smart current affairs classes is a very good starting point, right? Aishwarya, yes. So what I'm trying to tell you is this is for next 30 days. If you are clearing prelims, so obviously you revise a particular subject in say 7 days and then write a test. You revise a particular subject in 7 days and then write a test, or you can actually do some micro listing of topics, right? So first 3 topics of GS2 syllabus I'll do 1 day, next 3 topics 1 day. So similarly you can break down polity in 3-4 days from mains point of view, then 1 or 2 days for governance, then 1 day for your IR part, right? Things like you can plan like that. Okay? But again, it depends on student to student, so I cannot give a one size fit all approach to everyone. But idea is you have to understand that you have to reiterate everything, right? You have to have at least 2 to 3 revisions of your overall GS. Otherwise in mains you will actually struggle to complete the paper with relevant content. Are you understanding my point? Okay? So first you have to cover everything that is low hanging. What I mean by low hanging fruits here, so suppose you say society have 5 topics that is listed, right? Globalization, communalism, secularism, women issues, things like that. That can be prepared in 3-4 days with good quality content. 3-4 days, maybe 1 day for revision, and then write a test. And going by the trend, society has yielded around 100 marks, 100, even 20 marks in the last paper with very minimum efforts. Similar thing you have for internal security. Every year they'll ask 4 questions, right? To 10 markers to 15 markers. And that is very much predictable. Cyber security, right? Left-wing extremism. Now you have border management. So topics, hardly 15-20 micro themes that you can prepare yourself, or you can take help of your mentors or any study material that you are referring to. But make sure that you have this low-hanging fruit with you, right? Because you read polity, history, economy for the whole year, and there will be certain questions, say from history. You have studied about Vijayanagara. They will ask you about Kakatiya. You cannot do much about it. But what you can do is these predictable low-hanging fruits that you can prepare. This will help in 2 ways. First thing is it will actually help you deliver quality content in mains, right? So if you have prepared left-wing extremism and its various dimensions, right? So you can have 5, 6, 7 marks answer. Secondly, if you know stuff, you need not think there. So obviously it will reduce the time. So if you are writing in 7.5 minutes an answer, you can complete this sort of answer in 6 minutes, right? So it will give you an edge, specifically the bouncers that UPSC throws, right? You can have this time to actually apply in those questions. Okay? So this is first thing. Second thing is always use smart materials, smart studies. So reverse engineering is one of the favorite thing. You can actually predict at least 40-50% of the syllabus of the paper from your previous year questions. Also test series is a great help here. Okay? So you analyze, you have your previous year questions and you have your test series. Then you at least reverse engineer from that. So if particular topic is coming in test series, say integrated theta commands or drone warfare, so at least that topic is prepared from test series, and you can again give half an hour more to that particular topic if it is important, and then it is good to go, right? So reverse engineering is one of the good things that will help you crack this mains in this limited time. Okay? So use this wisely. So this is your overall schema for next 70-80 days. But also what you have to focus is reading is one thing. I'll always say if you have to choose between reading and writing, I'll say give at least 60-40, right? So if you are reading something for say 6 hours, write that in 2-3 hours, right? Keep practicing. If you are not practicing and passively reading, you will not be able to actually deliver in mains exam hall. Mains first issue is space management and time management. What I mean by time management, obviously you have 3 hours. You have to deliver everything in 7 minutes or 10.5 minutes for 15 markers. Then you come to space management. It doesn't matter if you have read 5 books on a topic. You just have those 150 words to write, right? And unless until you put your thoughts on paper, which points am I going to prioritize, right? Which data am I going to use? Unless until you do that, you will not write good answers. And they will find those 1,000 people who have done this rigorously. Okay? So understand this point, that you have to apply whatever you are learning. Now, this brings me to answer writing. So first thing is, you have to understand UPSC gives sheets. So you practice on UPSC sheets, right? Those sheets, and then start your answer writing. You doesn't need to wait for the perfect answer. As I told you in the beginning, start writing. Doesn't matter if you're writing just one answer today. Start writing. How many of you will write answer today? Please write in the comment box. Yes, sir, I'll write one answer at least today. Thank you, Maitri. Anyone else? Okay, Vinny. Okay, Nihal. Thank you. What about you? Okay, perfect. What about you? Any answer? I don't want it to be the best answer. It doesn't have to be. It won't be. I know this. But you have to start. Right? Now, first thing is, you have to start and keep this space and time requirement in mind. Right? I'm not saying you need to wait for a particular stuff. But idea is, you have this 7 minutes. So when you are writing one answer, challenge yourself, because for next 80 days, you will not have the time to actually improve this. If you are not giving it your best, your urgency is not being showed in the exam hall, then it will not be complete. Paper will not be completed in the required time, right? So challenge yourself. If possible, use a timer, right? So say if you are writing one answer, 7 minutes, 3 answer, maybe 20 minutes, 21 minutes, like that. So make sure you are using a timer and then timing your answers. Okay? Now, always carry yourself a booklet, a notebook, a diary, whatever suits you. So when you qualify prelims, you must join a test series or a mentorship, whatever you want. But idea is, you have to learn from the mistakes. If you are not learning from the mistake, it's not of any use, right? So not everyone is a born writer. We all are mortal human beings who will commit mistakes, right? So what you have to do is, you make sure you are committing as many mistakes as you can in next 70-80 days, right? And this is applicable for all the people who are striving for 2026 attempt as well, right? So make all the mistakes that you can in next 70-80 weeks, okay, that you have in front of you. So learn from the mistakes so that you can progress incrementally, right? Toppers are not born overnight, right? They sweat day in, day out. Okay? So make sure you are consistent enough in next 80 days. Maybe for first 15 days, you can take out some time to revise and everything, and then start writing your full length test, your sectional test, whatever you want to. Okay? So idea is, suppose you are writing your mains answer and you are writing long introductions. So first thing that you should come to mind is, I need not go beyond 2-3 lines in 10 marks in introductions. It doesn't matter right now how good your introduction is or not. First, constrain yourself. Then you improve the introductions. Yes, I have to have quality introduction. So suppose in polity, I'll start with this article, or I'll start with this Supreme Court case, or I'll start with this current event. So there are so many ways to introduce a polity answer. Then you can inculcate that. But beginning, you have to understand that this is the limit. So initially, in a page, you can highlight, till there, I will write my introduction. Till here, maybe I use a schematic diagram. Then I'll go to the body part, address 2-3 points here. Okay? So this is how you should begin. But first, begin your answer. That's more important. Now, as and when you are preparing, you have to revise regularly, right? And when you are revising, you should consolidate your notes. So make sure whenever you are revising a 100-page document, you are writing something so that it will convert to, say, 70-80 pages next time you are revising, right? So idea is, you have to compress and refine your notes whenever you are revising, right? It will help you in more revisions. Understand one thing, if you are not able to revise anything at least 4 or 5 times, before mains, you will falter in mains, because you will not have the time to stop and think what is the data on this particular thing, what arguments are there for election commission and things like that. So everything has to be internalized, and that will only happen when you have notes in hand. Okay? So if you have not any notes, take any toppers notes, but start building it, right? So at least you know the predictable topics like food processing industry, inclusive growth, self-help group, citizen charter. These are recurring topics. At least you have some notes on that, right? It doesn't have to be the most fancy notes. And I personally believe the people who are making fancy notes do not actually read it, right? So understand this point. You do not have to become an author afterwards, right? Understand you have to clear this exam. Even how messy your notes is doesn't matter. It has to work for you. Okay? So start making your notes. At the end, you should have maybe consolidated 20-30 pages notes, say for polity or internal security or society, something like that, so that you can revise everything multiple times. Okay? You get the idea? Please write yes if you are with me on this. Yes, thank you. If you face any question, any issue, please write in the comment box. Then I'll try to answer that as well, right? Final thing, as I told you, you have to take feedback, because without feedback, you cannot improve, right? We had this many students who has actually started by say 70 marks when they have just started their mains answer writing. Then they have progressed to even 115, and this is the case of Shakti as well, right? If you see the copies of Shakti in the beginning, she used to score because there is a bit of rust as well, right? So doesn't matter where you're starting from, it has to depend on your consistency, how consistent you are and how much learning you are taking away. Okay? So that's more important. So always get the feedback. Now, as I told you, you start writing. You need not wait ki I'll have the content first, ki I'll have the best content, I'll have the best notes, then only I'll start. You start with 1 questions, maybe 3 questions a day, right? For next 7 days, 15 days, you inculcate this habit. And when you feel, okay, I'm getting into the rhythm, then start sectionals as well as full length test, right? Or you can start before as well if you're comfortable. But for those who are in this inertia of not writing answers, you have to start from somewhere. Kavyanjali, a very good question, but again, it needs the expertise, it needs the experience. So first thing is, if you are experienced enough, if you have given some mains, if you have say given multiple mains of other PCS at least, then you have the understanding, okay, this is working, this is not working. Second idea is you see the toppers copies. So suppose there is a student A who is just writing in the paragraph format. It is very difficult to understand what he or she has actually written. Then examiner will not give you good marks, because you are making the examiner work, right? They are also professionals. They have to evaluate say 20 copies a day, right? So make their task easier. Give them. So I always say this, content is king. Obviously content is king. So people who are writing mains will need the content, but at the same time, differentiation, how you stand out from others, will depend on presentation as well. Okay? So this is this you have to keep in mind. Now, when you achieve this level, you start with your FLTs, right? Maybe 1 FLT in a week. So at least in next 80 days, you at least revise your GS 1, 2, 3, 4 at least 3 to 4 times, 2 to 3 times bare minimum, and 3 to 4 times if you can do that. Okay? So that you feel confident, because first of all, the students who are appearing for the first time, and in fact many other students as well, face this issue. They are not able to complete the paper. It's okay to not complete something like Twister if you don't know anything at all, but it will be a blunder if you are not attempting something you already know. Okay? So first idea for getting into the list is to attempt all the questions. Obviously, attempt what is asked. Okay? It doesn't serve if they are asking Bose-Einstein hypothesis and you are writing just about Einstein was very intelligent or both Bose was otherwise, right? So idea is you have to write relevant answers, but at the same time try to attempt all the questions. This is the first bare minimum thing that you have to do in this attempt. Now, in the last 7 days or 10 days, what you have to do is, obviously you can plan consecutive days. You can plan GS1, GS2, GS3 and GS4, so that you feel the exertion as well. It's easy to write one test in a day, but when you go into the mains exam hall, you have to write those papers consecutively, right? It's physically challenging, right? So you have to train your body that way as well. Many toppers also suggest you can even write 3 tests in a day, right? That's totally up to you, but I'll suggest yes, you can do this at least once, so that you understand how badly your hand may hurt, right? Especially if you are beginning your preparation, giving the mains for the first time. Okay, so this is it for the mains answer writing. And again, as I said, don't wait for the perfect answers. It may never come. And in social sciences, there is no perfect answer. Again, you can mark an answer 3 out of 10, then you can improve it to 5, even 7, right? There is no perfect answer. There is always scope for growth or scope for improvement. Okay. Also, when you are writing this, you keep these things in mind. First target is to complete it in 3 hours, right? So instill this discipline. This we have already covered. Also, try to update your content. For mains, to stand out from others, you have to have updated content. So suppose you have economic survey, budget for economy, right? Similarly, there are so many other content that you can use across the papers, but try to use it in a more updated way, so that examiners know that you are up to date, you are aware of what is happening. Okay. Third thing is, obviously, everyone who is writing mains will have some ideas, but what differentiates a topper from an average aspirant is the validation thing. So whether you are using data, whether you are using diagrams, right? FLT means full length tests. I'm sorry if I was not clear. So yes, so basically what you have to do is you have to focus on validation. And here again, role of toppers. So maybe you do not have enough time. So you go through maybe 4 copies of Shakti Dubey, you go through 4 copies of other toppers. So likewise, you understand this is the validation that you can actually steal from them and then use it. If you do not have anything, this is the last resort, right? But focus on validation. Also, if and when you are joining test series, you will have a lot of validation from there only, and then you can use it in your papers as well, right? So this is something you have to keep improving. Again, the focus should be on multiple revisions, that is internalization, and this will come when you have 1 pages. Also, my dear students, you have to practice bounces. What I mean by bounces, unpredictable questions. So lion and bull, what is significance in Indian art and culture history, right? If you do not practice such questions, someone else is practicing, and in that exam hall, if you have 1-2 questions like twisters, demographic, winter, right, these things will add up. In every question, say you get 2-3 marks. In every paper, you have 5 marks. Across 5-7 papers, you have 40-50 marks, and that's huge. Every mark matter in mains, right? Maybe it's a differentiating factor between you coming into the list or not, or between your IRS and IPS or IAS, right? So focus on fighting, right? Fighting in exam hall, but before that, you have to fight in test, right? In previous questions, you practice these bounces. So for that, we have some frameworks as well. So you can refer those frameworks, those templates that we also tell in Step Up Mentorship. So idea is, suppose you have this lion and bull, right? So what you can do is first understand how it is reflecting in various religions, right? How it is reflecting in various phases, how it is reflecting in paintings, how it is reflecting in temples. Okay? So Narsim Avatar, right, of Vishnu. Okay? Or you have lion capital, Sarnath. Okay? So there are so many things that you can think about in exam hall, but before that, you have to have some frameworks in front of you. And again, if you're part of Step Up, you will know we also provide answer writing classes where we help you to learn these frameworks, to apply these frameworks in exam hall. Now, we have analyzed several toppers copies, and this is something that you have to work on, right? Many toppers, specifically if you want to get a top rank under 50, you have to practice this. You have to practice establishing interlinkages. Interlinkages, what I mean by, suppose there's a question on gig economy, it can come in society as well as economy. It can come from policy perspectives, right? So you have to establish interlinkages when you're studying, but also in your answer writing. Okay? So try to establish these interlinkages so that examiner have this aha moment. Okay, you are using this thing I have never thought कि using Supreme Court case in ethics, maybe starting an ethics answer. Okay, so idea is you establish interlinkage. Then second best thing is you have this knowledge of current affairs that you are constantly reading. So apply that even in subjects like modern history, right? So what you can do while concluding specifically in modern history is apply current affairs. Okay, apply current affairs in many ways. Obviously you have polity current affairs, you have economy current affairs, but apply that maybe when you are attempting a case study, apply that when you are addressing a modern history answer. Okay, so these things you can practice, and they will only develop when you are practicing. And finally, and most importantly, you have to take feedback on copies. Whatever copy you are writing, whatever test, whatever answers you are writing, you have to take feedback. Then only you will improve. Okay. Now, for next 80 days or something, obviously, and this is again very much important for all the students of 2026 as well, right? Because you think you have say 7 months in front of you, but again, you have to know these tricks. The reverse engineering works. If you are preparing for even next year, you have to reverse engineer. So you have the syllabus in front of you, you have previous questions in front of you, then you have your test series. And if you are doing this much, you are already ahead of 80% of the students, right? So don't think it is only applicable to 2025 students only. Okay. So what is reverse engineering? I have told you it is very crucial if you want to clear this in a very limited time. So you begin with previous year questions, you begin with your tests. So also identify these low hanging fruits. As I told you earlier, internal security repeated themes will be there, right? So make use of that. Okay. These high yielding topics that I call, you can utilize that. Also gauge your progress and use previous year and tests very smartly. For every subject, try to have these 20, 30, 40, 50 themes, right? For, as I told you, internal security, maybe 15, 20 themes. Ruchika, we will have a separate session for CSAT, right? So that every student can benefit, because right now people will be thinking about mains, right? Or specifically for next year. So we can take up this session of CSAT separately. And thank you for that. Okay. So try to identify these 40, 50 themes, revise them regularly in next 70, 80 days, and then you can expect, yes, I'm good to go. Also, ideas, themes should be issue oriented, right? Identify those issues. We will help you there as well. Faculties will help you there, but at the same time, apply your mind. Also use ChatGPT in this case, right? What are the burning themes in Indian politics in last 1 year or something? They can give you a hint there. Vandita, you do not understand idea of bounces. Bounces in the sense that is not predicted. You were not prepared for that, right? As I told you, twisters. Right? Understanding my point. Key twisters, many were not there. Or as I said, you have this lion and bull question. You cannot prepare for each and every animal in Indian history, right? It is not expected from you. So these are some of the bounces that you can expect UPSC throw at you. But using frameworks, using application of mind, presence of mind there, you can at least fetch 2-3 marks, if not more. Okay? This is what I mean. Now this is about 2025. Now let's come to 2026. And many of you who are in this session also want this advice for 2026. So first and foremost, my dear students, you have to understand, maybe you are thinking that you have 1 year ahead of you. Yes, you do. But if you come to fragment it, if you break down, then what you will understand is you have 5-6 months. Because maybe after January, you will have this FOMO that prelims is coming, you have to study for prelims. I'm not saying this for everybody. Everybody will have a separate journey, separate understanding so far. So it will vary, but at the same time, it's difficult to focus on mains after that. So you have, what you have is 5-6 months of preparation. And these 5-6 months, my dear students, will actually determine your AIR next year. Whether you are securing a rank or not, whether you're securing very good rank or not, all this will depend on next 5-6 months, right? So first step, I'm expecting that you already have a foundation. You know the basics. If you do not know the basics, if you're just starting, then we have so many, I personally have made so many other videos, but starting with this, what I'll tell you is, you focus on the syllabus first of all. You understand the syllabus. Around that syllabus, on every topic, you should have your notes, right? Not in the first go, but at least after first or second reading, you should have some notes around it. Suppose PDS, right? What is PDS? What are the issues with the PDS? What are the good practices, good states that is implementing PDS, right? So things like that you have to prepare. Or you have basic structure doctrine. Everyone knows this, right? So what is basic structure doctrine, right? What's the evolution of this doctrine? What are the significance? What are the issues with the doctrine? How to balance these issues, and then conclusion, something like that you have to prepare. So first is preparation of notes, and if you have already done that, at least you have some notes, you have to consolidate your notes, and that will only happen, my dear students, if you are consistent enough, right? Consistency will matter a lot. I always say this to my students in this: hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard, right? Many of you may have heard this from Manoj sir as well, right? So idea is you have to be consistent, you have to put in your best foot forward. Yes, one pages are very much relevant for main Shubham. We'll come to that. As I said, you have to revise everything multiple times, but always remember, one pages are the end, it's not the beginning. If you just begin your preparation with one pages, you will not have the analytical understanding that is needed to crack the exam. Okay, so that is that. So first thing is you have to show discipline and consistency. Discipline and consistency in your preparation. Break down your syllabus and make notes around it. Then you consolidate your notes around it and then revise and then apply. Okay. Also, if you are preparing for 26, obviously you have to inculcate this habit of reading newspapers. How many of you read newspapers regularly? How many of you don't? Please be honest. Do you need newspapers regularly? Why not? Inertia? What about you? No. Dekho, newspapers read but not missing. Okay, you are not consistent basically, right? And again, I have seen many people who are having so much potential, they waste it because they are not disciplined. So it's my request to you, don't miss your newspapers, because newspapers are not just some articles. It is telling you about decades of information, right? If you are reading a news today, there may be a topic on liberalization, right? Post independent India. So it will be useful for all the subjects. Also the language sometimes that is there, that actually differentiates, specifically in essay and ethics, right? So idea is you have to read newspapers regularly. Doesn't matter if you're not giving 2 hours, at least 30 minutes a day, right? Will making notes time and again consolidated count as revision? Dekho, Kavyanjali, I understand revision when you apply. Obviously, passively you're reading, but at the same time, if not applying that, and that's why tests or previous questions, solving those becomes very important. So always make sure when I'm telling you to revise, not just passively revise, actively revise, right? Your mind should be involved. Okay? It's okay, Janvi. It doesn't matter if you have not read newspapers till now. Doesn't matter. You have to start afresh. Start from today. Make sure, suppose if you are missing a day, and it is not just for newspapers, it is for your discipline as well. If you are missing studies or newspaper for a single day, make sure it is not converted to 2 consecutive days. It's very simple. To break any habit, you have to inculcate this. Or if you are missing a week by chance, make sure you are not missing next week. You have to have discipline, but obviously there are so many other factors that you have to look into. So newspapers are the key. If you are preparing for 2026, keep this habit of reading newspapers and consolidating news from that, right? Also, a very important thing for you, treat all the portion of the syllabus with respect, either prelims or mains, either CSAT or GS, either economy or internal security or essay or ethics, doesn't matter. So you have to plan your schedule in a way that you can give equal amount of time proportionate to the marks. So in my opinion, if your optional is 500 marks and if you are giving 3 hours, I'm not talking about 2025 right now. Maybe they have to put in a bit more efforts right now. But for 26 specifically, 500 marks, 3 hours, then at least for GS, you should put mathematically 6 hours. If not 6 hours, at least 4 to 5 hours daily. Because obviously, optional will reward you. But there is a certain threshold. If you are scoring 216 optional, 217 optional, it becomes increasingly difficult to achieve 300. But that you can do in GS. If you are scoring 80 in GS, say 3 or GS 2, you can take it to 120, 125, 130. Similarly for ethics, if you are scoring 60, 70, you can take it to 130. So this range is high in GS. Okay? Right. So treat all the portions equally, GS and optional as well. So make a timetable that suits you. Take help of your mentors so that they can help you frame such a timetable that you manage everything. Sometimes you will miss your targets, but it's okay. You start again. You start from there. Sometimes you will miss your test. It's okay. Leave behind the past test, but start now. Right? That's the aim. And this we have discussed. You have to make thematic notes and then revise everything. The more you revise, the more it will be internalized. So at least 5 to 6 iterations before December. So when I'm saying iterations of revision, so what I'm saying is maybe before a test, you read and then revise and then give test. Then again, in sectional, then in full length, and then overall a cycle of GS, right? So plan your weeks, plan your months ahead so that you revise everything 3, 4, 5 times. And this revision will only happen when you are learning while applying. So testing yourself is crucial. To learn, revise, apply, take feedback, and then repeat this for next 6 months. That's how you will improve. As I said earlier, doesn't matter where you start from. If you're consistent enough, if you're learning from your mistake, you will improve and you will get a top AIR. Okay? So this is what I need from you 2026 students. So from overall last 3 months who have been preparing, I know this is a hard lesson, specifically those who have not qualified, who will not qualify, may not qualify. But you have to understand, these failures sometimes are stepping stones, right? But you have to learn from the mistakes. So mistakes are part and parcel of the this overall process, not just in UPSC but in life as well. You are bound to commit mistakes. That's how you evolve. That's how you improve. But you have to learn from that. And for that, I'll believe you have to instill a growth mindset within you. What do you mean by growth mindset? Any one of you who knows about growth mindset? Kavyanjali, Vinny, Tulsi, Karthik, anyone? Any one of you? Progressive is part of it, yes.
Adding values into our life
continuously learning, right? Taking your mistake as a stepping stone. Yes, sir. Yes, very nice, Sudeep. Continuously evolving. Yes. So the spiral of knowledge doesn't evolve overnight. It evolves when you make incremental progress. That's how you evolve. So you have to instill this growth mindset. Maybe I have not secured a rank, or maybe I have failed this prelims, but it has taught me so many things. It has taught me the value of discipline. It has taught me that I have to apply my knowledge. I just have to revise multiple times and apply it in tests or previous questions, right? This is what you have to learn. So your grit and determination will be tested. And specifically, those who are preparing for 2026 or beyond, you have, say, at least 70 weeks in front of you before you are writing mains, right? So take these 70 weeks, 60 weeks as 60 attempts, right? Make sure you evolve in every attempt. Every week, one attempt. What I mean by one attempt, write test. Either it's for prelims or mains, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you have not studied much, but start applying. If you have at least read Citizen or Emergency or Fundamental Rights, apply your knowledge in particular tests. That's how you will learn. And if you are attempting previous questions, it will actually tell you what UPSC expects from you, which portions are favorite. So if I have to list down some topics from polity, Parliament should be at the top. If I have only 1 hour to revise, I'll make sure I'll revise Parliament. Things like that. Okay? What will be a decent score in 10 or 15 markers? Kavyanjali, this depends. So say, obviously no one knows how UPSC evaluates the answers, but we know the marks, right? So in ethics, if you are scoring say 5 marks in 13 questions, right? So 5 13 ja 65. Okay, now you have 6 case studies. In good case studies, if you are scoring 12 marks each, okay, so you have around 60-70 marks in case studies. So it's a decent score in ethics. 120 is a decent score, but it depends. In economics, it may come down, right? Maybe only 3.5, 4.5 marks will be rewarded, right? So it doesn't matter. But idea is you have to improve. You have to compete from others. If a peer, if a student is getting 110 in GS3, you have to compete from that, right? Obviously, the average score is around 90, even for toppers, right? For GS3, but you keep improving. There should not be any limit. If you are already having getting 90 marks from a reputed institution like Vajiram, you are on the way. But at the same time, continue to evolve. Especially people, I always say this: good is the enemy. Good is the enemy of great. So if you are writing good answers, it's okay. Congratulations. But at the same time, keep working. Good is the enemy of great. So don't compare your marks either for prelims or your mains. Just keep improving, keep learning. That's the motto, that's the target. Okay. Now, specifically people who are writing 2026, I want you to build discipline. It takes a lot of time to build discipline. Sometimes you need support. That's okay. But build discipline, because motivation will come and go, right? Motivation will come and go. But if you have discipline in life, if you have discipline in your studies, you will achieve your goal. सिर्फ मोटिवेशन से नहीं होता है, राइट? सिर्फ वीडियो कोई मोटिवेशन देख लेना उससे नहीं होगा. You have to actually sit down every day and try to achieve your targets, right? There are so many apps where you can use track your productivity. Try to use that. Okay. Now, as I told you, focus should be on optimum current affairs, and you have to work smartly around it, right? It should not be that I'm going after every current affairs magazine that is there in the market. Newspaper and one magazine, that's all. It's very simple, right? If you are enrolled in smart current affairs, you need not worry much about anything else. More or less everything will be covered, right? So idea is optimum level of current affairs is needed, but there's a huge role of multiple revisions. There's huge role of consistency, because if you're consistent, compounding effect will kick in, right? So yes, Sujata, obviously you have mentors at Vajiram supporting you. You can have show shot or step up test series, step up mentorship. There they can support you, right? So idea is if you are preparing for 2026, I'll tell you what to do. Okay. And finally, in all this, because of the high gestation period, because even now, if you are just starting, you have 2 years before the results come out, right? For 26 people. So mental health may be an issue, right? It may take a hit, and it often does, right? If you are not having any support system around you, then you should find one, right? Then you should find a good support system around you so that they can help you be disciplined. Okay. Kavyanjali, I'll be very honest with you. You have to understand, foundation is a very good thing for you, right? You have your yellow books, you have your class notes, but you have to apply that as well, right? So you have to understand you have got a very good foundation. Now let's create a superstructure on it. That is important, right? So basically, basic structure doctrine. But if I ask you to write whether it infringes on the concept of separation of powers, or comment whether it's just a judicial innovation, right? So you have to apply whatever you have learned. Similarly, troposphere, troposphere, but how it affects climatic conditions around the world, you need application in that, right? Now this is what you have to do for 2026. We'll have I have already taken some sessions on 2026. You can go into the Vajiram website live section, and then you can watch there. But specifically people who have written 2025 prelims, I always urge you that when you lose, don't lose the lessons, right? And lessons will come when you analyze your data. I come from a field, computer science, which actually focuses a lot on data, right? So nowadays we have data everywhere, right? Data is a new oil. So in your prelims, what you have to do is you have to assess your prelims. how it went. Suppose there were 15 questions of polity. Suppose there were, say, 8 questions of modern history. How many were correct? How many were incorrect? Focus on incorrect ones. How many were incorrect due to your awareness gap? How many due to your revision gap? Many people come to me, yes sir, it was fairly moderate if I would have revised it. अच्छा दिन होता तो 125 भी आ रहे होते. I do not want to listen that, especially from people who will be writing in 26. Make sure your preparation is full-fledged, very foolproof, and that will only happen when you have this habit of analyzing from your mistakes. So right now you have this assignment. So first assignment I have given you is essay. You write an essay. Second thing is, specifically 2025 people, you assess this, but more importantly for 2026, you first attempt 25 paper in 2 hours, maybe reduce 10 minutes, and then attempt the paper. Fill the OMR and everything, and then assess how many, first the score, and then how many were correct, incorrect, and why incorrect. That is most important for you, right? So whenever you lose, don't lose the lesson. Apply it day in, day out, right? You will be attempting some prelims test or mains test. Keep writing, keep attempting, but learn from the mistakes. That is the most crucial lesson that you can learn. Okay? Now, I know, irrespective of what I have said, many of you do face this issue of consistency. How many of you feel that you are consistent enough in your preparation? Please be very honest. Are you disciplined and consistent enough in your preparation? Please be honest. It's very tough to be consistent. Yes. No, sir, Sham. Okay. Yes, Vinny, thank you for being so honest. Yes, sir, there is consistency, but you can improve. Again, yes. Maitri, you, because of the college. But again, Maitri, you have to understand, because there will be so many things in life. You will find one reason or the other. I know it's a very genuine reason, but at the same time, there are people who at least manage consistency. I know colleges are important, but at the same time, this is an issue. Yeah, Ruchika, burnout. Yes. Burnout due to CSAT, specifically in GS that you are saying in prelims. I don't understand what you are saying, Ruchika. Yes, sir, but sometimes health doesn't allow. Then I feel it's okay. This is part and parcel of this process. Sometimes, yes, health should be your priority. If you are down, again, we cannot do much. You take rest and recover, right? Yes. So majority of you suffer from this, and I know by experience. Many people who come here are exceptional, right? Most of you are exceptional in your own fields. Most of you come with a lot of enthusiasm, but not everyone qualifies. And the basic reason is this: because you lack consistency, you lack accountability, and sometimes, obviously, due to various reasons, you also feel burned out. So you do not know what to do, right? How to, again, rejuvenate and come back. Right. So what you face is balancing. Yes, Ruchika. Right. So yes, that's what I'm saying. So balancing all aspects. You are not learning. You are not applying from test papers or previous year questions. Not able to learn from mistakes. This is again a huge issue. Many people who have written multiple mains, even interviews, do not understand where they are committing the mistake. Right. So first you have to understand what mistakes you are committing. Obviously, this integrated preparation of prelims, mains, GS, optional, everything, balance it out. This is again tricky. So what all the issues, maintaining right mindset throughout, right? This is the most challenging aspect. All these issues are genuine. I'm not saying you are just making that up. I know that. And for that only, I always suggest to my students, you build a support system around you. And one support system can be role of mentor. I always say this. I was having this podcast recently with Lavanya, AI 57, who was mentored by one of our mentors. And she was saying, sir, it's, again, many people can crack it on their own. But sometimes it takes a lot of time. You cannot waste your youthful years. Sometimes you come with this 1-year plan, and then it converts to 5-year plans, right? This 5-year plan should not be there. And for that, to actually dissect through everything, to cut short this journey, you may need a mentor, a good mentor, an experienced mentor. And that's what a Step Up Mentorship Program actually provides you. And this is some of the core features of the program, where you have 4 layers of mentorship. You have super mentors who are already IAS, IPS, or other services. Also, you have one day-to-day mentor who will be point of contact. You face any issue. So idea is, suppose you have this session on 1st of June, right, with your mentor. On 7th of June, you have your second session. So what you do is, on first session, you decide what you want to achieve in next 7 days, right? Very realistic targets, so that you cover everything. Maybe first 3 topics of polity with 2 chapters of your optional, maybe something like that. You frame a target for yourself, and then mentor will tell you how to go about it, what are the resources and everything, and then you actually go and try to apply. And if you face any issue, you come back to the mentor, either by message or call or offline, whatever mode you want. So idea is, you take help of mentor in every way possible, so that you cut short this journey. Always focus that your sole priority is to attempt this attempt with all your force. Give your best. One attempt, not more. Only one attempt, so that you can prepare have a foolproof preparation, right? There should not be any doubt in your mind that I'm not prepared, right? And for that, this is a wonderful program. You will have personalized study plans. You will have topper sessions. You will have thematic videos. You also have current affairs modules, right? You have essay module, which is there by PUSER only. Okay? You have these answer writing sessions that I already discussed. You have these workbooks for prelims. I know it's difficult to sometimes actually revise everything. So we have these workbooks for prelims, so that you can revise it multiple times. Similarly for mains, similarly at the end for mains students, 1 pages will be there, right? So that you can revise everything. Okay? So always remember, 1 pager should be the end. Now we are launching this batch, a new batch on 9th June that you can enroll in. So what you will get here, obviously, mentors. You have prelims camp, that is test series for prelims as well as mains will be given, right? Prelims test plus mains test, so that you apply whatever you are learning. It should not be passive learning. So it's kind of a one-stop solution, my dear students. It's a one-stop solution for everything that you think of, right? So you will have your super mentors and mentors who are very much super, I'll say. In fact, Shakti Dubey was part of our mentorship group only. She was a mentor there. We also have Tejaswa. We had Tejaswa, who was a mentor at Step Up program only. So you imagine the quality of mentors that you can get, right? So super mentors plus mentors. Then you have phase-wise preparation. So depending on the level that you have phases. Phase 1, if you are just starting, you will focus on the foundation. Phase 2 of integration, where you apply whatever you have learned. Okay? What would be the appropriate time? My dear Swati, understand one thing, sooner the better. Because suppose in 6 months, you are getting a rank of 200, say. If you have 1 year, 6 months, it's always possible that you will be next year 1, right? So I always say this, the more time you have, it's better. Because you will get to revise multiple times. You will make all sorts of mistakes before actually coming to the exam hall. So it will actually help you if you can enroll as soon as possible, right? So there are phase-wise preparation. Till December, we'll try to make you mains ready, so that you can go into prelims phase by January with confidence. And then after January, in January, you will have prelims camp. Prelims camps is a Vajiram test series, where you will get around 60 plus tests post January. Before January, after every target, suppose you have a weekly target, suppose you are doing polity, for every week you have your test, 1 prelims test. So for polity, you have 4 to 5 sectional prelim tests. Similarly, 3 to 4 sectional main test. Then you have full net test. Things like that, so that you apply whenever what you are studying in your weeks. Okay? Srishti, no. We have been phasing out this. People who have exhausted the attempts will be your mentors, so that only focus will be on you, right? There should not be any conflict of interest. But again, everything will be sorted from our end, right? So that exclusive focus will be giving. 10 to 6 mentors will be available to you. Obviously, they need rest as well, right? So office timings are this. You can reach out to your mentors either by text or by phone or visiting offline. Okay. So this is about phase-wise preparation. Also, we'll tell you how to make notes. We'll help you with workbooks. We'll help you with one pages. Also, you'll be making yourself some topper level notes, right? So this is just a demo of one page of notes. Suppose you have landslides. What are the causes of landslide? What is the introduction? What is the effect? What is the NDMA guidelines? And then how you conclude, right? Similarly, one page of India-USA relation. Okay. Similarly, concise workbooks for prelims so that you have everything at one place. Okay. Similarly, this is Smart Current Affairs is also being provided. The Shakti Dubey, who was also part as a student of Smart Current Affairs. Okay. So this is handout, sample handout. So you need not, as I told you, reading newspapers is crucial, but you need not write down everything. There is a whole system working for you. So you just glance through it, maybe 20-30 minutes a day, so that it will increase your vocabulary. It will help you with those bouncer kind of questions. Also, it will give you a flow, right, when you are writing ethics or essays. Okay. But other things will be sorted by this current affairs. Also, you have essay sessions by Pusers, who has mentored hundreds of aspirants, right? Last year, Aditya was his mentee, right? This year also, many students in top 100 are his mentors. Also, you have this answer writing sessions that will be taken by me and program head. So basically, suppose if you want to have introduction for ethics, how you can introduce. There are 3-4 types of introduction. We'll tell you the templates for everything, for every subject, so that you attempt your test with precision. Also, for the answers you don't know in advance, you can actually frame some answers. There is no appropriate time. Again, sooner the better. Okay, Swati? So maybe starting from today, you can allocate half hour, or after 1 month, you can start allocating 1 hour every day, right? There is no best time, right? If you have a fear of something, first, let's face it head on. Let's get it out of the way, right? It's very simple. This should be your approach. And then finally, you have to apply with your test. And this is actually what I was talking about. Shakti Dubey, all the tests that she wrote in Vajiram, you start with 82, 78, 71, then 105 incrementally, because there is rust even for toppers, right? So you consistently improve. Consistency is the key. And there are so many toppers. Even IAS जो इस बार हुआ topper, that was also test series of Vajiram. Okay, so idea is you have to understand there is no substitute of hard work. You have to apply and keep on learning, right? So as I told you, get mentors' feedback and take next 60, 70 weeks, 60, 70 attempts. Improve in every attempt. Earlier, what used to happen was you got your mark sheet after 1 year, and then you realize, okay, I messed up in essay or ethics or GS1. So with this approach, you will learn every week. You will apply every week, and that's how you will actually improve, right? So this is very one of our favorites. What's stronger than individuals? What's stronger than individuals? Institutions, processes, right? Because individuals may fail, processes will never fail. If you have a code, I come from computer science, if we code a system to solve a challenge, it will solve the challenge irrespective of the machine, irrespective of the individual that is using it. So we have tried to come up with this scientific approach that is working brilliantly for the students of Step Up program as well. So we had this AIR 82, who was very beginner, first attempt, everything, just trusted their mentor and secured this rank in the very first attempt. He is just turning 22, if I'm correct, right? So this is the process we have established for you at Step Up. So this is the only thing that is stopping you from realizing your true potential and your dream. Okay? What is missing from everything here is your discipline. Your discipline plus your hard work. I'll say there's no substitute of hard work, right? Obviously, how to work smart will tell you, but at the same time, it is your hard work, it is your discipline that will matter. For discipline, we'll always help you. Mentors will call you, will take follow-up sessions. So suppose if you're not responding for say 5 days, 3 days, if you're not connecting, mentors will take follow-up so that you come back again. But they cannot go to your home and ask you ki bhaiya test likho. That cannot happen. Okay? So I hope it is clear. If you have any questions, I am open for the questions. The floor is yours. Again, this is the QR code that you can scan for more details of this program. For external students, we have this discount. For ex Vajiram ones, we have this discount that you can confirm. Okay, so this is it from my end. Now let's open the floor to the questions. If you have any questions, please shoot. Yes, Janvi, very much. As I told you, foundation lays the foundation, right? We can, I think anyone in this industry cannot match the faculties that we have at foundation program. But what you have to understand is, suppose there is a faculty, they have several students, right? So they cannot know whether you are struggling prelims or mains, or why you are struggling, why you are not able to score 70, 80, 90, 100 marks, right? So what is it that will work for you? That will only be done by a mentor. This is again, many students confuse faculty and mentors. Faculties actually teach you a lot of good stuff that even the mentors have been taught by those faculties only. But at the very same time, you have to understand you have to have a personalized plan. So suppose something is working for Kangan may not work for Shivam, right? So you have to have these kinds of things. Sir, when will the, okay, I'll open this. Is there any way? Yes, I was, Metri, if you are part of Step Up already, you can reach them online, or you can also come offline. Tulsi, please be specific. Time management tips if you are studying for say 25 or 26. Okay, you Aishwarya, okay. Aishwarya, I think there will be mentors specifically for that program as well. You can reach out to them. Right. So, Matthew, what happens is you can plan month-wise, right? Suppose you are starting with this June. You can give your June to polity, right? If you are just starting, I do not know your background, right? Or also you can come and meet me at 3rd floor Vajiram Ravi 7B if you want. But idea is it depends on the students, right? If someone is just beginning, they may take 1 month or so in polity, right? So if you are experienced enough, maybe 7 days, 10 days will suffice, right? Specifically the people who are writing mains. But idea is you fragment all the syllabus, all the topics, all the subjects. Try to cover everything till October. In November, or by mid-November, have one revision, and then by mid-November to the end of December or January beginning, you have your other iteration. At least these 3 iterations have to be planned by you, right? Okay, Akash. Yes, Akash, Smart Current Affairs is part of this program. I always tell this is a one-stop solution. You have your mentorship, you have prelims test, 35, around 35, 40 prelims test before January. After that, 60 prelims test, mains test, her week aaka mains hoga test, sectional as well as then full length. And at the very end, when you qualify or not qualify prelims, then you will have 12 plus full length test that Shakti Dubey also attempted, that you can have the same program as well. It's a very good Bhumika that you have just begun the preparation. But idea is, how can I begin? Yes, again, as I told you, you have to start with some basic subjects, but always follow a structured plan, right? So for that, I have mentioned there is a huge role of mentor, because mentor understand you. They track your progress every day, every week, every month, every year, right? So this is yes, Aishwarya, essay classes by Piyush sir will be there, right? Essay sessions will be there, and it will also include some tests, right? It is part of this program. Don't worry about it. Yes, Dev, this will be uploaded on YouTube. You can watch it from there as well. Please shoot any other questions that you have. Okay, if you have any questions. Okay, Khushi, as I told earlier as well, uh, maybe you can start today, depending on your background. But again, do give diligently some time for CSET so that you don't struggle. Maybe half an hour a day starting next week, maybe 1 hour starting 1 month or 2 months later, but start as early as possible. There's a huge difference, Sanyam. What happens is in short, your discussions will be just test-based discussions, right? So if you write a test, you will get the feedback based on that test. There's no accountability. There's no level of consistency that people struggle. So in Step Up, what we ensure is you have weekly targets. You have regular meetings with the mentor as many times as you want. It is not just a test series. Test series is a very small part of it. It is a whole approach to clear UPSC, right? So you have your weekly meetings. Even you can come in between if you have any doubts, right? Also, it is a superset, right? So it includes everything else as well. Essay is there, your test series is there, right? So your some thematic videos will be provided, your current affairs will be there, which is not there in mains program as well. Yes, Sonali, please consolidate your classes, class notes. If possible, suppose Manucha sir is having a lecture today, just make sure that you have concise everything in 2 pages and then revise it after class and before coming to class next day, right? If you have any other questions, you can come and visit me in Vajiram Ravi at 7B, 3rd floor. I'm Shashank. I will be there. Happy to help you. I hope this is it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience. I hope to see you soon. I hope to see you in the program. Thank you very much.